So you're recording because I can tell by your face. Okay, hi, welcome to Lessons with John. Today we're going to be trying Dust in the Wind, okay? So good luck with this one. We're going to be finger picking it, okay? So let's see, the intro, we'll talk about the intro first. We start with a C chord, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna assume with this song that you're gonna know most of these chords, that you're pretty advanced. If you're a real beginner, you're probably not gonna be able to do this one anyway. So I won't talk about the chords too much. So you got a C chord, and really it's the right hand is the big problem. Once you get used to it, it's a breeze because it's the same thing throughout the whole song, just about. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit with your thumb, you're going to hit the fifth string, and your middle finger is going to hit the second string at the same time. And then I'm going to pop my thumb to the fourth string, and I'm going to do 4, and then my index is going to hit the third string. So, okay, that's the first part of it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the fifth string with my thumb, and then the middle again on the second string, but this time they're going to be separated like that. So it's okay, so together and then separate, and then the end is just my thumb, fourth string, my index on the third string, and that's really used through the whole song. They move it this way for different chords, but that's it. Okay, so that's the hard part. So if you zero in on that chord, that's really the key to the whole song. Okay, there's a couple things that they do differently, but we'll get to those. So what you do is you got your C chord, and then all you have to do is lift up your index finger, and it becomes C major 7. So it's then you're going to add your pinky on the second string third fret. That's a C add 9, and then you go back to your C chord. That's it. So it's the same picking pattern for each of these chords. Next you're going to go to an A sus2. So it's like an A minor with your first finger up. So it's the fourth and the third string second fret, and I'm using that open second string to get that sound. And then I'm going to add my pinky on the second string third fret. That's an A sus4, A minor, and then the A sus2 again. So I'm basically open second, the second string third fret, second string first fret, and then open again. So you're getting that melody, but everything else is the same. And my picking pattern's the same because I'm going to use the fifth string. That's an A, and this is an A minor type shape. So, okay. So from the beginning, you got your C, C major 7, C add 9, C, A sus2, A sus4, A minor to the A sus2. Then you go to the C add 9 to a C, C major 7, back to the C add 9. This time it's A minor, A sus2, A sus4 to an A minor. But this is where it changes, okay? Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. But you can review. So, alright, this part is a bit tricky. So it's, that's what it's going to sound like. I learned long ago, basically I had plenty of time to practice when I was younger, like when you're in high school and in college and stuff. You don't think you have a lot of time, but you got all the time in the world. But when my daughter was born, I was totally screwed because all of a sudden I didn't have any time to practice. I had like 20 minutes a day. So what I had to do was rethink everything. So what I did was I started circling the trouble spots. So if I had gigs coming up and stuff that I had to play, I would just circle areas that I had to zero in on, and I only practiced those trouble spots. I call them practice spots or trouble spots. And so that's all I would practice, and I actually got better quicker. So instead of practicing for 3 or 4 hours a day, it was more like 20 minutes a day, but I was actually getting more done. So, go figure. I wish I could go back. So if you're 19, take that advice. You get better quicker. All right, so this little treble spot, it's going to be the 5th string. It's on an A minor. 5th string open, and my thumb's going to be there, and on the 2nd string, so I do like half the pattern. And then I go back and I hit the 5th and the 2nd on that last one you heard together. So, and then I go to this chord. It's called a G/B. You know it from like Blackbird and stuff like that. It's if you notice the way I do it, I'm going to use my 2nd finger on the 5th string 2nd fret and my pinky on the 2nd string 3rd fret. Most students don't do this. Most students will wrap around like this. Okay? Almost everybody I teach tries to do it like that. And as long as they get it clean and it sounds good, that's fine if they want to do that. They feel like it's easier because these fingers are more coordinated. They don't like to use their pinky, but professionals will do it like this. Because your middle finger's right here and your pinky's doing nothing and he's literally hovering over the note. So as you get more coordinated, if you're smart, you'll try it that way, because even if you're not as good at it at first, over time you'll get better at it. So that's your real first trouble spot in the song, and that keeps coming up over and over again in the song. So that's your whole intro. So let's go over the intro again. So C major 7, C add 9, C, A sus2, the pinky down, A minor, open, C add 9 to C, C major 7 to C add 9, A minor, lift up, pinky, and then you're into the verse. Okay? So that's the end of the intro. So, alright, now the verse comes in. The verse starts on a C chord, and let's double check. Yeah, he still uses this. Okay. So, it's the same C chord. And now you do go to that G/B chord we just talked about in the intro at the very last chord there. Same strings for your finger picking. Here's another little spot that is different. He goes to an A minor, and what he does here is instead of hitting the 2nd string, he's going to hit the 1st string and the 5th together. So let's double check what he does. Okay, so he only does it on the very beginning of the measure. So the very beginning of the pattern he goes. Then the second time, because he repeats the pattern, this is the first time that a chord is a whole measure instead of a half a measure. So the first time he hits the 1st string, but the second time he hits the 2nd string, just like we've been doing the whole song. Now what I do is I use my ring finger for the 1st string. That way I don't have to move anything. Most people are not going to do that because they don't want to use, that finger. But I studied classical guitar, and it's much easier because it's right there. It hasn't been working the whole song, but all of a sudden it's called upon, and if you can work on it, it makes sense because he's right there. He's got nothing to do, and he's finally got a moment to shine, and you guys take it away from him. So you can move over, and that's what most of you do. You can move your middle finger over, and then he's just got to pop back into place. But again, that 3rd finger is looking for something to do. He's going to get mad at you if you don't use him. So, Alright, so that's your A minor. Then you're going to go to a G, and you literally, you can just hold down the 6th string 3rd fret. You don't need anybody else for your G. But you can form the G chord if you feel the need. So here's a change here. Your thumb's going to go to the 6th string for this chord. Again, you're going to pop from 6 to 4. So you're going to pop right over that 5th string. See that? So it's the same picking pattern. It's just so your thumb pops around. Generally in finger picking, your index finger plays the 3rd string, your middle plays the 2nd, your ring plays the 1st, and your thumb gets the bass notes, 6, 5, 4. He pops around a lot, so that's like a basic rule for finger picking. You know, we break the rules all the time, but you know, and we're going to break it in this song, I think, in the next chord actually. But so it's kind of weird I'm bringing it up now, huh? So, but that's general rule of thumb, no pun intended. So if you know, if you don't know what to do, that's what you should do. So now you're going to go to the D minor 7, and the way they play that, top 2 strings, 1 and 2, you bar with your 1st finger, and then your 2nd finger comes hooked in over on the 3rd string 2nd fret. Now a lot of people have trouble with this chord because if they don't do bar chords yet, so you can do it 1, 2, and you can twist this guy over like this. You can do it that way too. I'm just going to bar it. Now, speaking of breaking the rules, this is where I'm going to break the rule for this song, is I'm going to move my thumb down to the 4th string, which is fine, but I'm going to use my middle finger on the 1st string, and I'm going to do this. It's the same picking pattern we've been doing the whole song, but this time you're hitting the 4 and the 1 together with the thumb in the middle, and then the thumb's going to pop over and hit 3 and then index on 2. It's just, I don't know, it feels real comfortable, it's easy to do, and that's how I do it. You can do it the other way too, but then you get all the fingers involved and it becomes more complicated. Now this part is the A minor again, and this is a combination of what we just did in the verse on the A minor and what we did at the end of the intro on the A minor. So you hit the 1st string and the 5th, and you remember that from the intro? Well, the 2nd half is, that's the same thing you did in the intro, okay? So the A minor is, okay, so now we're back to a C chord, G/B, A minor is again that whole measure, so you're going to hit that 1st string again, the G to the D minor 7, and then the A minor. Now this A minor is just like the one we did earlier where it was the whole measure. It's the 2 patterns. You hit the 1st string. Okay? So that's the entire verse. I'll play through the whole verse now so you can, you know, I close my eyes. That's the whole verse. Now we're on to the chorus. Okay? The chorus comes back 3 different times, and they do it 3 different ways, unfortunately. But it's basically the same thing. It's just little tweaks here and there. So the first chorus, you know, the dust and the wind part, you're going to go to a D/F sharp. So basically you're holding down the 6th string, 2nd fret, your 3rd string 2nd fret, your 2nd string 3rd fret. And your thumb is going to pop from 6 to 4, just like on the G chord earlier. So it's a real nice sound. Some people just play a D chord and they use their thumb. A lot of people do it that way, actually. I'm going to do it this way. Then you go to that G chord, where you pop your thumb again, and then A minor. minor, and you're going to add your pinky on the 6th string 3rd fret. That's an A minor slash G. Okay? And then back to the D slash F sharp, to the G, A minor, and it does that same little tricky thing it did at the end of the intro and halfway through the verse, okay? So what we got is D slash F sharp. So here's your first chorus that comes in. Okay? And that's it. So that's the first time they do the chorus. Then at this point in the song, they go back and they do another verse. So you do the whole verse again. Then you're back, and now you got the second chorus. The second chorus is even easier. It's just the D slash F sharp to the G, to the A minor, to the A minor slash G, D slash F sharp to the G. Okay? That's your second chorus, and that's it. Now you're off to the instrumental part, the interlude or whatever it is, okay? Okay, this is the interlude for Dust in the Wind. Okay, what you're going to do, hold down the 3rd string 5th fret, the 4th string 7th fret. You're going to do the same picking pattern that we've been doing for the whole song, except for that little part at the end there. So what I did at the end there is my 3rd finger's on that 4th string, and my 1st finger is going to sneak off of the 3rd string and get behind on, it's on the 4th string 5th fret. So they're on the same string, and I'm going to hit my thumb on the 4th string, and I'm going to do a pull-off. In order to do a pull-off properly, the finger has to be, the one on the back side has got to be in position. And that's why I snuck them off that string and got behind it. So, see at the end there, I just lifted it up and put it behind. So you're hitting the 2nd string and the 5th together, you're doing your picking pattern, and you do it twice up until that point. So in other words, instead of hitting the thumb and the index, you're just going to hit the thumb and do that pull off. And that's the hardest part in the whole song, to get clean. So we talked about treble spots in some of the other videos and so forth. That's a spot that you have to work on to get it clean anyway, okay? Once you do the pull-off, you're actually in position because you can leave your 1st finger down, and then they kind of change places. It's like a mirror image. The 3rd finger is now on the 3rd string 7th fret, and this guy stays on the 4th string 5th fret. And you do the same picking pattern we've done the whole song. Then you just simply move it back to the 3rd and the 5th fret here. And then I'm going to do like a little bar here where I'm holding the 4th string and I'm going to grab the 2nd string and I'm going to lift it back up. So it's kind of like a hinge bar. So I go, and then I'm going to put it down and then lift it up. And that's really the whole intro. That's all it is. So it repeats. So you got pull off. It leads right into that chord. Then you just move it back. You do 2 patterns. Then you bar it. And then you lift up the bar. And then you repeat all of that. And that's all it is. And then you'll hear the intro come back. And it's in entirety there. It's just the same thing that you did before. You get the C out now. So it's like a little guitar solo with those 2 parts. And then you're off to chorus 3. so this is chorus 3 for Dust in the Wind. Okay, it's actually very simple. It's almost the same as the first two choruses. He's doing a D/F sharp to the G, an A minor, and then you add the G underneath, and you repeat it 3 times. And then you repeat half of it. D/F to the G, and now you're off to the outro. Okay, you go right into the outro from that point on, and that's an A minor to the sus2 to the sus4, back to the A minor, sus2, sus4, A minor. See how it's circling around? So that's all it does is A minor, A sus2, sus4, and they're, you know, doing their high pitch, you know. I'm not even going to attempt it because I'm not a singer. And then just kind of circling around and fading out. Okay? So that's Dust in the Wind. So the form of the song, the way we broke it up, we got your intro, you go into your verse, you got your chorus, the first chorus, then you go back to the verse exactly the way you did it before. Chorus 2 is slightly different, not much. Then you're off to that instrumental part, that little interlude, which is totally different. And then you do your intro again, and then your verse again, exactly the way you did it before. Chorus 3 is very simple, and then you're off to your outro, and then that's it. So it's not as complicated. It's a lot to remember, but it keeps going back to that verse, and the choruses are just in variation, you know, so that's it. The one thing I didn't talk about, this is the first time it's come up in these videos, is slash chords. Basically what you're doing is, like, you got a D chord, but say you want a different note in the bass. Like when I play a D chord, this 4th string open is a D, so that's my bass note. So if you want a different note in the bass, like F sharp, you got to change it. So that's a slash. So you put D/F sharp. So it works for piano and guitar. We fake all the time, and, like, you know, here's an A minor. A is in when you see an A minor symbol, it's understood that A is in the bass. And then you put /G, you want G in the bass. So that's the note G. Say you wanted F sharp in the bass, you'd go like this. And then E in the bass. So F in the bass, and then E in the bass. Sounds like I'm playing the Zeppelin tune, Babe, I Want to Leave You. So anyway, that's slash chords. Those seem to be confusing for people, but they're very simple. It's just, it's a chord, but you're changing the bass note. And it doesn't have to be something that's in the chord. Like you could do a D, and then you could go with C in the bass, okay? B in the bass, A in the bass. So those are slash chords. Maybe we'll do a lesson on those someday. Okay, any comments or suggestions or ridicules down below. And please subscribe and play more guitar.